Today I am going to explain about the process of New Zealand Nursing Council registration. Here in the Google we can search New Zealand Nursing Council website, that is www.nursingcouncil.org.nz. So it will direct you to this page. Here we can see four options. I am a nurse in New Zealand. I want to be a nurse in New Zealand. I am a member of the public. I employ nurses. So here we need to select I want to be a nurse in New Zealand. So we can see three options there: registration for international nurses, registration for Australian nurses, and how to become a nurse. So here we have to select registration for international nurses. Once we click here, we will go to another page. So here we can see that if you hold a current registration in a country other than Australia and meet the Nursing Council standards, you may apply to practice in New Zealand. Here we can see two links. I'm currently registered in Australia. I'm currently registered in another country. If you have an Australian registration, you can select the first option. Here I will select I'm currently registered in another country. This is the next page. As you can see that there is two options. First one is I've already applied to the Nursing Council. Second one is I want to start my application to the Nursing Council. Here you can select I want to start my application to the Nursing Council. In the next page, it is written that before starting your application, please read the information in the links below. There is 4 links: Nursing Council standards, registration process, registration cost, and frequently asked questions. So before starting the application, we need to know what are the Nursing Council standards. Here we can see 7 standards. We have to meet these 7 standards to be eligible to register in Nursing Council. First one is identity. We must submit an identity proof. Second one is English language. To register in New Zealand Nursing Council, you must satisfy them that you are able to communicate effectively. The Nursing Council approved English language tests are Occupational English Test and International English Language Testing System Academic. For OET, you must achieve a minimum score of 350 for reading, listening and speaking, and a minimum score of 300 for writing. For IELTS Academic, you must achieve a minimum score of 7 for reading, listening and speaking, and a minimum score of 6.5 for writing. Here, the interesting thing is that you can achieve the minimum score in the English language test over more than one sitting. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3, they haven't mentioned here. However, the required score must be met within 12 months of first sitting the test and met within 3 years of your CGFNS report being transmitted to Nursing Council. Please note that the Nursing Council of New Zealand does not currently accept online computer-based tests. However, computer-based tests administered in an approved testing center are accepted, but OET at home is not accepted. Second option for English language requirement is English language evidence pathways. Some nurses educated or registered in certain countries can provide evidence of English language competence through their education or registration pathways. In that case, you may be invited to apply for an alternate English language evidence pathway by CGFNS. For example, if your nursing qualification is from the UK, Singapore, Ireland, Canada, or the United States of America, you can use this pathway. The council may ask you to provide evidence that you completed nursing education in English, for example, a transcript from your education provider. Or if you have nursing registration in the UK, Ireland, Canada, or United States of America, then also you can select this pathway. Each application for an alternate English language evidence pathway is assessed on individual basis and will be granted at the sole discretion of the council. Please note that if your registration is from Singapore, you cannot use this pathway. But if you have a nursing qualification from Singapore, you can use this one. Because for Singapore Nursing Council registration, OET is not required. So if you have a registration with OET, then only you can use this one. The third standard is current registration. You must have been registered in the country where you received your nursing education and also hold current registration. You need to provide good standing certificate from all countries you've been and registered with. നഴ്സിംഗ് പഠിച്ച സ്റ്റേറ്റിലെ രജിസ്ട്രേഷനും ഇപ്പോൾ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്ന സ്ഥലത്തെ രജിസ്ട്രേഷനും ആക്റ്റീവ് ആയിരിക്കണം. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ നമ്മൾ വർക്ക് ചെയ്ത എല്ലാ രാജ്യത്തു നിന്നും ഗുഡ് സ്റ്റാൻഡിംഗ് സർട്ടിഫിക്കറ്റും സബ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കണം. Fourth one is nursing qualifications. We should have bachelor degree nursing qualification which is at level 7 on the New Zealand qualifications framework. So GNM is not accepted, which is at level 5 to 6 on the New Zealand qualifications framework. So at least we should have level 7 qualifications to be eligible to get registration. Your nursing qualifications will be assessed for comparability with the New Zealand program standards. If your program doesn't contain enough theory and clinical experience, or the theory content is not comparable to the New Zealand content in specific areas of nursing, then a condition may be added to your scope of practice. That will be the CAP program. Nursing qualifications gained after registration. They will consider nursing qualifications completed at graduate level when assessing your qualifications. They are looking to see that you have further developed your knowledge from your initial qualification to be comparable with level 7 or above on the New Zealand qualifications framework. So from here we can understand that post BSc is accepted. Fifth one is post registration experience. You should have 2 years working experience, that means 2500 hours within the last 5 years. If you haven't worked as a nurse for at least 2 years of the last 5 years, you may still apply for the credential verification service, that is CGFNS verification, but there is no guarantee that you will be recommended for registration. And if you have no post registration experience at all, you are not eligible to apply for registration. Sixth one is fitness to practice. You need to complete international criminal history checks for countries that you've lived in for 12 months or more in the last 7 years. Before August 2022, it was 10 years, but now it is only 7 years. The last but not least one is competent to practice. You must be able to demonstrate that you are competent to practice in New Zealand. Competence assessment programs. The CAP prepares overseas registered nurses for the registered nurse role and healthcare contest of New Zealand, which is different to many other countries. If you hold current registration in the United Kingdom, Ireland, Australia, Singapore, the United States of America or Canada, you may not need to complete a CAP because the registered nurse role and healthcare contest in these countries is similar to New Zealand. That's all about Nursing Council standards. About registration process, we will see in next video.